Hey everybody, welcome back to Pool of Radiance. We are gonna continue with the new party. I kind of went around and I did some changes. We got Skullcrusher still. We have a new party. So meet Ren of the Blade, our thief, and then we got Shawball as our mage, and Tarl Desania as our cleric, and then we are working with Skullcrusher as our fighter. I've been experimenting a little bit more behind the scenes to see how to make the game tick a little bit more as I'm doing things. I actually now know how to do combat. I learned combat finally, how to do it instead of just doing the quick action stuff. So we'll be able to, you're gonna get to see me have Shawball do some magic. She has Fireball, so that's gonna be fun to have her cast on a lot. I learned how deadly Fireball can be though as I was practicing. It can go bad. It can go real bad. Down the audio a bit. It can go real bad. It can get real bad. Fireball. And you gotta remember, this is going by Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, so what's considered the technical first edition, even though it's really a second format of Dungeons and Dragons, because as we've been going through these games, we're learning more about D&D, right? So we're gonna bring Skullcrusher back. He's actually about to leave the party as soon as we. Yep. Skullcrusher speaks. I must go to my master now. He leaves. Yep. And then I think, yeah. At your entry, the council clerk begins looking through a stack of papers. Before I can offer any commissions, I must see if you are due a current reward. Clerk speaks. Councilman Cadorna left this payment for some service you had rendered. Here's your reward. Yeah, because we got the chest, the Thieves Guild chest that we were supposed to steal, which was why we were there to begin with. And we brought that back, because in our original run, we never did that. We kind of just, in our original attempts, when we had Skullcrusher, we never came back, which is why Skullcrusher stuck with us. And on top of that, that means we also didn't bring back the chests that we didn't open for Cadorna. So, yeah. Yee! 1,666 experience, which is like nothing to us right now, because we have a lot. It's like 12. It's a lot. Some gems. I don't really care about that. Nah. Putting down the paper, she says, I must bring to your attention the graveyard. We know about that. Let's see, and of course we know about the tomes. So we're actually about to go to the to Mendor's library next. And then we never really went to Old Koval Mansion, which is, it's fine, we'll get there. But we're going to go to Mendor's library next. So I think that means we have to... Which way do we got to go to get there? We can get there from Kudo as well. We don't have to go all the way to Textile House. I don't know what just happened there. And it fucked with our music. I'll fix that in a second, but for now, let's finish getting these. Let's see, find the nomads and stop them from... Yeah. These are all the available commissions. Okay, so let's... save, since we're in a decent spot. Let's see. Okay, fix the music issue. As I was saying though, Advanced Dungeons and Dragons is just Dungeons and Dragons. Like, it's just... It's what we consider first edition, because D&D... So, original Dungeons and Dragons, which it became basic Dungeons and Dragons, kind of works sort of kind of different. And like it's more, I think it's more combat focused. I think is the big difference if I remember correctly. Um, I can't remember the specific difference, but there's a reason that it's split, and part of it is that Gary wanted to go advanced route. Um, and so that's where the difference kind of starts. And so we're gonna go to Mendor's library next, which I think we have done this particular mission before, but now we're just double. We're making sure we clear it out. Yeah, we've done this. I remember this big old empty space, and we're gonna go all the way around, and then everything is more in the middle. Like the whole edge is cleared out essentially. Yeah, I remember this. I don't remember the middle and what specifically is in each room, but I remember this. We're just emptying it out as we go. Actually, we'll. Yeah, there we go. We're just gonna clear it all out as we go. That's the way back to the textile where we found Skullcrusher. Skullcrusher! It's a really cool name. Kinda sucks that he leaves immediately, but eh. Especially because I armed him really well. I gave him some good stuff. But that's okay. I don't need him. If he's gonna be that way, I don't need him. Let's knock, I guess. See an empty room. The only feature is a series of frescoes on the wall of learned men and the heavenly patrons of art and learning. You get a feeling of peace. So which way should we go? Okay, once again, I don't know what happened. Our audio got messed up again. It's fine. We're gonna run with it. It's fine. We don't need music. We got this, I guess. It was nice having music because I finally understood how to get the gold box companion that we're using to run this game. In order to, I finally learned how to do the music part of it. You're in a small room, having little more than a bench and a small desk. So these are like little study rooms in the library. That makes sense. We're in a library. You're gonna have some study halls. Here we go. These are the library stacks. Old and moldering books are stored on shelves. A sign over the entrance reads, rhetoric. Let's see. Um, let's see. Let's find some books. Oh, you see a dull brown reptilian monster. It doesn't seem aware of you. Okay, good. So let's get the jump on it. Right? That's what I say. Get the jump on it before it gets us. Don't know what it is, but let's take it out. Um, oh, it's a basilisk. Oh! Hey, we did it. I did give everybody some good equipment, so that's probably part of it. Yeah. Anything worth taking? Maybe that cloak. Let's see. Yeah, we'll take the cloak. And then, don't really care about the scrolls or the potions. Let's put on the cloak. Cloak of displacement. Nice. As you can see, we got some good gear. Yeah. Let's see. Once again, I fixed the music. Just because I do like having it, especially now that I got it working. Let's explore this place. Nothing really worth it here. I do have a little bit of a map and guide to kind of get us back to where we were. These are the library stay. Okay, yep. Let's look. Find various books. Okay. Aha! Find the history of the North. It is mostly written to please a royal line. However, there is an interesting passage which you copy into your journal as entry 8. Okay, entry 8. Let's look and see what that is. Thought I put this somewhere. Aha. A rugged popular account of the northern lands. 10 days' ride north of the Varm is a barren and dead country called the Lewai, land in pain or land of caused pain. Further to the south, this place is known as the Tortured Land. It is said to be an evil place shunned by the riders. They speak little of this land, but yearly, during chess, that's one of the months, we know about that, because as a DM I've been keeping track of that stuff for Forgotten Realms. Anyways, it's like it's almost like, I want to say it's like March or April for us. It's in that area, it's in the March, April, May. It's like spring, it's very spring. They make a trip into its heart. There they go to praise the spirit of the glowing spring. Haha, I was right. This they have done for ages, and so shall they do for years to come. It's nice to know that my knowledge is not entirely just in my head. I do actually know this. Like, I'm not just making up that I know these things. I do know these things. Good to know. Obviously, we got to keep looking. I think we can find 2 more books in here. Yes, we're gonna take it. Aha! You find the Grand Historian's records of the arts of war. In it, you find a useful passage, which you copy into your journal as entry 21. Okay, entry 21. 21. A crumbling old book, one of a massive series. At this time, there ruling the Twisted Ones was a powerful general named Thraxus. He strode before his armies cloaked in flame and led the riders out of the waste. At his hand, the kingdom of Bars was conquered. Turning south, he led his army to conquer the Horeb and the Vane. Thraxus was a cruel man and leveled all that he had taken, murdering the princes of these lands. But the flame that surrounded him consumed him, destroying his body. Freed of its shell, it flew among the many of his army, lighting on each and claiming it. It was then when Baron Shot imprisoned Thraxus in a vial of water which shone like the light of day. This he sank in the watery depths of Lake Longreach, defeating the armies Tyranthraxus had raised. Tyranthraxus. Alright, and yes, we're going to take it. Alright, because we have to bring these back to... So I guess the last book is here. No? I only picked up 2, right? There's supposed to be 3 in here. Pretty sure. Aha! Find Lex Geographica, an atlas drawn by Tomaris. It has a map of Phlan, which, though old, still could be useful. It becomes entry 37 in your journal. So 37. Yeah. Apparently from a great mathematician named Tomaris. So, all right. I think that's all that's in this room. So, let's continue exploring, I guess. All right. And of course, we'll take this book. Yes. We're gonna take these back to Phlan because they were asking about books. Another thing we didn't do last time, we didn't bring these back, which might have underleveled us actually in hindsight for things that we need to do that we were not doing great at last time, and I guess losing that save probably was for the best. There's no books in here, but we'll like fully explore the room still. And then more study rooms. And then the next room we're going to actually the next library we're going to explore will have 6 books. Aha! Oh, no, not yet. Aha! Here we go, our first book. You find Farendetha's Discourse on Power. Among all the dry text, you find an interesting passage which you copy into your journal as entry 7. So let's get entry 7. A tightly bound scroll seemingly immune to the ravages of time. Fountains and pools hold great power that can only be reached by performing proper ceremonies. Most sure of these is immersion, for in this way the bather surrounds himself to the spirit of the water. That spirit, or some portion of it, enters into the bather, whereby he gains great powers. Woe to the weak-willed, whose spirits are sure to be consumed by spirits that put even the strong at great risk. Urax holds that the falls of the Ixe are greatest of all these. I-X-C-E. Ixe, I think. Morden writes that the pool of Radiance is greater still. Later in the book, places of magical powers are not necessarily tied. Later in the book, begin a new quote. Places of magical power are not necessarily tied to one physical location. Power often moves from plane to plane along the path of least resistance. The termination of the path determines the place's location on this plane. Volatile upheavals between the planes may lead to a change in the path of least resistance. This can change where the path terminates on this plane, thus moving the place of power. Some who wield strong supernatural forces can bend the path like an engineer damming a river. When the path is bent, it can terminate in a new location, moving the place of power on this plane. If the supernatural force that bent the path is removed, the path will snap back to its original form, and the place of power will return to its original location. Such disruption can have violent and unpredictable results. Thus, interplanar upheavals and directed supernatural forces may hold the answer to the seemingly ever-changing location of places of power, such as the Pool of Radiance. Roll credits, because they said the name of the game. A bunch, actually. Yeah, so I think we are starting to get hints of what is supposed to be going on in the game, right? Like, I think, if memory serves of things I know about this game, Terranthraxis is a major threat, which is why that one of those journal entries about Terranthraxis was important. And so I think that's something they're trying to set up, as well as just, oh, got another book. You find Jurgen's description of darkness. This is an account of his imprisonment in the lower realms. There is a passage of interest which you copy as entry 19 in your journal. So, entry 19. A black-bound tome written in a strange halting hand, and settling for begin quote, and settled foremost in the hall of minor courtiers were the lesser powers: Marum of the Great Spear, Hask, voice of Hargut, Terranthraxis, the Flamed One, we know about him, Borum of the Lake of Boiling Mud, and Chemnod the Unseen. These two fell down and became servants of the great Lord Bane, which we know about Bane. Okay, so I think Bane is supposed to be the overall threat in the Pool trilogy, if I am remembering things correctly about the stuff that I do know about this lore. Which, by the way, that's why I renamed the party. I'm using the party that is in the book adaptation of this game, and so this is who I'm using. Um, Technically, Ren is supposed to be a ranger at this point, but there is no ranger that I could do when I tried to build him, and I tried to do a cheat to try to switch him to ranger, but I wasn't able to do it correctly. So he's a thief still, which which makes sense as well because Ren of the Blade is also a thief. Well, he's a ranger who became a thief who became a ranger. Again, it's kind of his story. And yes, we're gonna take this book. But yeah, and so that's why I renamed him and why all this is making sense to me of what we're learning and why I'm like, oh, these books are actually way more important than we thought they were when we were in this room before, and we did not actually look around for these books, by the way. I'm remembering that now. We were supposed to find these books. We never actually searched, because you're supposed to hit look when you're trying to find stuff in a room. We never did that. Way to go, us. We only found 2 books, by the way, so I think we're gonna have to do even harder of a look. Maybe we have to do search, because look is not getting us all the books. There are 4 more books in here. Aha! Find a book entitled Meditations. Yes, we're gonna take it. Is there not a note for that one? Okay, the other 4 books do not have entries. Okay. Yes. Man, it's not easy looking for books. Okay, it says you can find, I'm realizing, so that means we're not guaranteed to find all of them, but we'll look around for a bit. We still got a few minutes, and so I think we're actually getting lucky that we found 3 of them. Aha! Find a book entitled The Harmony of the Rock. Yes, so we just need 2 more if we want all the books that are in here. So I think we just gotta loop around and keep kind of doing that in order to find them. So we're just gonna keep looping until we find them. And with search on, we automatically look. So having search on just means I don't have to quick look every time. If we don't find them in this loop, if we don't find any new books in this loop, then we'll call it. We'll say that we found all the books that we could for this room. Like, I'll take that to mean that, yeah, we found all of the books that we... Oh, never mind. You find a book entitled Strom's Discussions of Poetics. Do you take it? Of course. So we just need one more. It is the Chronicles of Aram is the last one that we need to find. Aha! Chronicles of Aram! We did it! Yes! Alright, we have all the books. I can turn search off. And we can keep moving. I think we have located pretty much all the books in that we're gonna need, I think. Yeah, at this point we're just clearing out the rest of the library. Okay, so no more actual books to find. See a chamber filled with rotted furniture and benches. Another chamber filled with rotted furniture and benches. So I think these are study halls. If we're to like consider how like these are like bigger study halls. So you have your little study areas, like the small rooms that we found, and now we're in a study hall, and now we're gonna, I guess, use knock to get in because bash was not working. You see, what once was a garden, now weed-filled, the pleasant pond has become a swamp. This is my swamp. Let's save, because I have a bad feeling that since we're in a swamp, things might pop out at us. Step into a stream. Oh. You now carefully avoid the green slime. Okay, so we... As you move through the garden, a strange green plant growth, which you recognize as green slime. You carefully move around. Okay, so there is green slime here, so... Look, let me just finish. Yeah, there we go. Now we can get away from the green slime. Okay, so there's a lot of green slime in here because it's a swamp. No green slime. Oh, actually, they did injure us a bit. Shellbell is a little bit injured. So they did get us a little bit. Just a smidge. We're fixed now. Alright. Let's save again. Alright. Off this way. You enter a hall which is filled with rows of writing tables and high stools. Rotted mounds of parchment littering the floor. So now we're in like the main like area, the bigger like study area of the library. So this is probably the part where like everybody's kind of out in the open studying, but it's like a quiet area where nobody's talking to each other type of study. So we're like modern libraries would probably have their computer halls, right? You have entered a storeroom full of... Oh, I didn't even get to finish what it said. Oh, yeah, okay, full of kobolds. Yeah, that lines up. Alright, so do y'all want to see before we call it? I guess let's do this fight. I think this is the last thing we're going to have time to do. And y'all will get to actually see that. I do now know how to how to control the game. Hey, I actually know how to play. Hooray. So, let's have Ren move in closer for one. Because they are all the way over here. Look at that. All the way out here. So you hit aim, next, and target is the button that because we always were like, okay, well, how do we do magic? And so you have to hit target to actually attack. So, hey, I learned. Took me forever, but I learned. Let's guard. And then Shaw's gonna come in closer. Shaw ball. And she's gonna stay a step back. Because we're not gonna have her do anything besides her magic missiles for now, for this fight. There's not worth doing a fireball in this room. It's not. There's not enough room for a good fireball here without injuring Rin and Shaw. Now we're gonna aim next. Fire. Now some magic takes a little bit for it to cast. So, for example, let's have Tarl here use cause light wounds, right? As you saw there was a little split second between being able to actually activate that. So that was because some magic takes a minute, and it actually gives other creatures a chance to attack still, maybe, if they can have turns before you actually cast your spell. Fireball is also one of those. Yeah. Magic missile to end this fight. Woo! Yeah! Victory! And that's a way to end things out on, I think. Nothing worth taking. I don't really care about money. Nah. Alright, let's save. And thank you all for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. And if you really like our content, check out the Patreon, which is linked down below, where you can watch our content before it's released publicly on YouTube. Also, be sure to check out our Discord so you can become a part of our community. And I will see you all next time. Have a good one. Bye.